I mean, the only position now is only now where we need something now is in the middle, as everyone knows.
Well, last time we spoke, Paul, when you talk about the middle, you talked about the balance of the team, that it was off kilter, that it wasn't right. You did mention the midfield needed a young Casemiro type player in there. How do you look? How do you see the balance of the team now? Because we're on a good run. Has it changed? Do we still need a young Casemiro in there?
Yeah, you need someone. I'm not. It's not even a Casemiro, Tony. It's energy, legs, someone disciplined in there, really. And it hasn't got that. And I saw that at the weekend when I was at White Hart Lane. I saw that when Casemiro come off, the team lost it. They lost their composure. The players stopped doing what they were doing before, and everyone started playing their own little games. And he's got that about him. He's not a shout screamer, but he's a presence. He's a presence when you're playing with him, and he's a presence when teams are playing against him. Because the moment, on a few occasions, every time United have brought him off, it's been a capitulation in midfield, and the manager it loses that. It loses that way. I could go further about this, but it's not on your list of topics, so I'm not going to go down there. But it needs. I'm saying
Anything's on my list of topics. Trust me. So if you want to go off, you go right into there. That's what we're about, Paul. Off
when
topic, anything.
I just looked at that moment, Tony, and I thought, you're bringing off Casemiro. Wouldn't it have been? Isn't it nice just to bring on a Mainu? If you're not starting him, bring him onto the pitch because he's composed. He plays and he's got some kind of etiquette in the way he played. He's upright. He looks a presence because he's not struggling. He does everything with ease. He passes with ease. He beats people with ease. I look at Ugarte coming on, and he's quite scruffy in his presence, the way he scampers around, but he's not a Casemiro when the ball comes into him. Teams look to get around him. With Casemiro, you find with great midfield players or players in general, they get given a certain bit of distance because players are aware of their ability on the ball. Casemiro has got that. I think Mainu has got that, but he hasn't been given the opportunities. I know he wasn't fit at the weekend, which I found quite odd, but still, he's a difference and he hasn't been utilised in the right way. And what's been going on has been totally wrong, my humble opinion.
Going on to Mbumo, I spoke about him the other day, Paul. I think he's a fantastic player. And I actually said he's the best signing at Manchester United since Bruno Fernandes. How good is he, Paul?
He's very good, and I will say that you're saying that and everyone else is talking about him because he's a player that they haven't seen for quite maybe since Bruno, in the sense of he's another player who covers the grass. He covers every bit of
Yes.
grass in all different areas. I've seen him from the Championship, and you can't hide in the Championship. You can't be lazy in the Championship and below, because if you're lazy in a team down there, your teammates will call you out. It's as simple as that. No different to when I was playing, when I was at Fulham, when I was at QPR, and when I was at United. Football, when it's football, and you're there trying to achieve things, you cannot have someone who's being lazy. Everyone has to give an inch, and maybe even more, and give an inch to someone else if they can spare it. And he does that. He scores all kinds of goals, and you can play off of him as a target man. He can play right wing, left wing. He's adaptable. He's a modern day player, but in an old fashioned way as well, because he would survive playing in the 90s because he's physical as well. He doesn't go in looking to be physical, but he can handle himself. If the manager was then to go out, if you got those three, and the manager was to go and get a midfield player who can become a Roy Keane or a Paul Ince or a Brian Robson, in other words, the old adage, box to box, then you've got another player who could join in with him and do that as well. But they haven't got that. Manchester United haven't got that box to box midfield player, haven't gotten the players who can do that dynamic stuff. And that's why I think that's the kind of midfield player they should be looking for to join in. And if you get that midfield player there, that eases the pressure on the midfield, because team will be wary of how they attack. The front three, people are wary already. The moment Shesko was off,
Yeah.
the moment the manager made those, I call them systematic substitutions again, Tottenham stepped on.
Yes.
And that, when we were judging it, that was the problem. That was the problem at the weekend. and has been the problem for a number of games over his tenure of
What?
manager of Manchester United.
Well, one of the big problems, what lots of fans go on about, we go on about it, and it's being highlighted all over, to be honest with you. And it's the same thing what was happening last year. It's conceding goals, Paul. There's too many. Why is it happening? Especially when there is no fault on this goalkeeper, Le Mans, whereas people always tended to like look straight away and say, oh, that's Onana's fault or it's Bayindi's fault. There was an easy escape route. There's something still continuing why we concede so many goals. How is it you see that?
Well, the problem is now is that goals are being scored, and
Yeah.
at least there's goals being scored compared to what it was before, Tony. But I'm looking at it is that I look at it as that, and I've said this on numerous occasions, and I was very lucky for a period of time that I played in an incredible back four, which everyone knew they were going to see week in and week out. And I think, and I use the word because I use it all the time, the word is continuity. I think the manager has to keep the same back three. And given this season with no European football, no League Cup, they play every single game and they play until such time they get injured or their form drops and then someone else will come in. But find your free, get your free, and turn around. Don't even have to tell them. You look at them in a way and you manage them. They know that they're going to play. Like when I played, I knew I was playing, but I knew as well that I couldn't just turn around and take it on and just go, it's going to happen. I still had to keep proving myself. So he needs to play that. And it's great having a big squad. But it's a nightmare when you suddenly get disgruntled people, and I don't know if he's trying to keep everyone happy because the way he substitutes all the time is no rhyme or reason why he keeps doing it. So when he keeps swapping the back three and taking people, regardless of the way the game's going, keep making those substitutions at important times in the game, then that worries me.